Okay, YouTubers, today we're going to do something a little different. Normally I've been working on the Cadillac CTS, but on the way home the other day, we had a problem. The problem was I had turned on the air conditioning because it was getting a little warm. Down here in the south, it's been in the 70s and really low 80s, and you know it's only March, so it's like first week in March or something like that. But anyways, the problem was I had turned the AC on. I put just a little bit of heat in there so we didn't get too cold. And I'm going down the road. My friend was with me, and he goes, "What did you do, man? It's like really, really hot in here." I was like, "What do you mean it's hot? I just turned the AC on. Boy, see, it's nice ice cold." And he says, "Not on my side, it's not." So I put my hand over here, and it was like full bore hot. So I adjusted the temperature controls, and it had no effect whatsoever. So I was like really confused. So I went ahead and I just shut it off. And the next day I jumped in the car. Everything was fine. Everything was running great. And then same thing again on the way home. It actually was already set for outside air by default. And I had cold, and I turned the AC on. Everything came on. And then all of a sudden the whole thing died. Just the power panel went out. And next thing you know, just full bore heat just coming out of both vents, because we're going down the road and we're on outside air, which means as you're going down the road, any air that's hitting the car is coming in. So we're in the car just roasting to death. So I turned the car off, turned it back on, and everything came back up. I had taken this panel out, put it under the microscope, and couldn't find anything wrong with it. So after some review, I found out that it was most likely one of these little buggers. It's called the blend door actuator. So, and this is a Dorman 604003, and I know it fits. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to change one of those and semi-diagnose the issue and find out which one is causing the problem. And by the way, there are 4 actuators in this vehicle, and I'm going to show you where 3 of them are right now, and they're down there above the gas pedal. So, and I'll show you how to access those. Now, one more thing I want to mention here is I actually already did the repairs and completed them and everything. And in the video, you're actually going to see this part missing. You're going to see the cup holder out. You're going to see this lower tray out. And you're going to see the glove box door off. You don't have to do those in order to do it. But at the time I was figuring everything out and how to get it done, I didn't know that. So I didn't even know which side they were on. So in order to prevent you from having to do that, I'm just going to show you the easy way. And I've already done the repairs, like I said. But with that being said, I am going to go ahead and remove 2 panels and show you where they're at, so you'll know how to do it. And then you can follow the rest of the repair in the other portion of the video that's coming up. This panel here, the kick panel underneath the steering wheel, you have 2 screws. You have one here and one here, and then you have 2 screws on the bottom, one there and then one there, and then this panel right here just pulls off. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove the 4 screws and remove this panel. So let me get to that, and I'll show you when I get ready to pull it off. One thing you might want is a little mat to put your knees on, because whoo, if you're an older guy, chubby like me, you might want something for those knees. So anyways, I've got these 2 out, and I got this one out right here, and now I'm going after this one over here. Let's get this one off. Alright, put your screws over to the side. Just grab this panel right here and just give it a yank, and it comes right down. Alright, the other panel you need to remove is this one right up in here. This panel is really easy. There's only 2 screws holding that one on, and that screw is right up in here, right there, right next to your OBD2 connector. For you guys that don't know what that is, here's your OBD2 connector right there, and the other screw is right there underneath, next to those 2 big bolts right in the corner there. So let's get those ones off of there. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. All right, now all we got to do is this one over here. And then there's a little tab on the back, way back in there. That little hexagonal slot right in the middle of the screen. Move the light, it goes in that one right there. And that's where this little tab right there goes in that slot. Okay, once you get those two panels off, you set them aside. Then what you want to get is those items up in there. The one there on the left, closest to the engine bay, that's your passenger. The one on the right, that's your driver. And the one on the top, that's your floor, upper vent, combination, and your defrost one. So if your defrost isn't working and everything else is working fine, that's probably your problem right there. Passenger not working right, it's the one on the left. Driver's not working right there. If you have your recycle is not working, that's right over there behind the glove box. And you know, I can show you that too real quick. Okay, to do the recycle actuator, just open up your glove box, take everything out of it. See how I did all nice and neat, except for the pencil. Move this piece in here, and this piece in right here. I have to do both sides twice, since I'm one-handed. Then let it hang. After you got it hanging down there, just walk in here, grab this, and pull it towards you, like that. Put it underneath, push that side out, and then grab this side and pull it towards you. And your glove box is off. Now you can have access to your recycle actuator. Alright, I turned the light on. It was getting a little dark here. Recycle actuator is this one, right here. In order to get the connector off in the back, there's a little square tab that you have to push down, and then another like rectangular tab that you push in, and then you can pull it out. Unfortunately, in order to get it out, you actually have to remove the screws. There's one here, it's an 8mm, and then there's one on the back right there, and you need an 8mm wrench to get to it. It's almost impossible to get to it any other way. If you have an 8mm ratchet wrench, hint guys, tell your wife you need one. They're about $17 on Amazon. That's a good time to buy one. I would recommend you get the reversal wall. Anyways, that's where your actuator is. So back onto my original problem over here. In the video, I actually take the driver's seat out, and the reason I did it is because you're going to be spending a little bit of time on your back doing that, unless you're a contortionist, which I'm not, little fat short chubby guy. I found it was easier just to remove the 4 bolts or 4 nuts on the bottom of the car, and you don't even have to jack the car up. You can just crawl under there and do it, and I'll show that to you in the video. And then there's 2 connectors inside. I'll show you how to take those off, and then you can just pick the seat up and walk it out the driver's door, and it'll actually fit in the back of the van without having to move the seat. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start the video from me taking the seat out, and then you guys will get to see how to fix and kind of diagnose your blend door actuator and your environmental control things. So on to it, guys. Alright, I'm working on this AC system, and I really need to get up in there, and I'm really having a hard time because this seat is here. So I'm going to go ahead and take this seat out, and I'll show you guys how to do that. It's got 4 bolts on it and 1 wire attached to it, and the wire attached is for the seat sensor. So when we get the thing unbolted, I'll probably just lean it forward and detach that, and I'll show you. Well, let me show you where the bolts are. The bolts for the seat are underneath the car. There's one right up in there. There's one up in here, right there, and then there's one right there, and then one right there. So let's go ahead and get those out. I'll show you what tools we need to do that. Okay, I'm going to use a 21mm deep socket 1/2-inch drive. Looks like about a 6-inch 1/2-inch drive extension, and a 1/2-inch drive ratchet. And don't forget to put some PB blaster or WD-40 or some kind of penetrating oil up there to break the bolts loose from all that rust and stuff from under the car. So let's go ahead and get them off. Now we have all the nuts off of all the anchor spots for the seat. Okay, what I did is I just picked the seat up from the front and the back and then leaned it sideways over the other seat a little bit. So now I can get at these connectors. Alright, let's see if I can do this in view of you guys. There's one. There's two. Now all we got to do is take these off. And to get these off, you have to pry this little lock up like that. Once that lock's right, you can push down on this and you should be able to separate them. There, just like that. And let's see. I haven't seen one like this before, so I'm just going to take a stab and say that it's got to go this direction. Like that. And then we'll try to see if we can't pull it out. There it is, just like that. Hey, how easy was that? Now I can take the seat out, and then I can use this whole area right here to lie down on. And of course I'll have to put something over that because that wouldn't feel good on my back, I'm sure. So let me get the seat out and set it over here on the ground. Alright, I got the seat out. Now I could probably lie down on this. Let me push this way. And grab my little mat. Set that over there so I can lie on that. I do have a little bit of a caution though. Cut myself pretty good. And what I did is I was dusting this seat off, and my finger got caught up under here and went along this edge, and it cut me pretty good. I already pulled the skin off that was on there, so I'm going to put a band-aid on that so I can continue to work it without bleeding all over the car. So obviously you can see you've got more than enough room to work on and lie on your back to get up under there for that AC system stuff. So let me go ahead and get to that. Okay, I'm back under here, and I want to show you these three actuators. There's one on the top, one on the bottom, and one on the bottom right. Again, the gripe is that the driver's side is nice and cold, and the environmental is adjustable from heat to cold. But the passenger side stays hot all the time. There is no adjustment whatsoever. And I think that whichever one is causing the problem, which I'm pretty sure is the passenger one, is overheating the control panel for the environmental, and the internal processor is shutting it down. So I'm going to show you which ones move and which ones don't, because there's two of them that are connected together. That's these two right here. It's this one and this one. When I move the upper control, let me set this up a little bit better here. Here we go. When I move the upper control towards heat, two of them move. Well, I mean, I don't know which one moves. Those gears move right there. Let me show you again. Push it back the other way. Okay, so obviously this gear is hooked to this one and this one's to this one, and I don't know which one's driving it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect one of them and leave the other one hooked up and see if I still have the issue. This one up here, this is actually your upper lower air or defrost switch. That's this knob right here. So let me show you what happens when I move this. So I'm moving it up, and then I move it a little bit more, and when I go all the way to defrost, it goes all the way. So obviously that motor controller is definitely working. So it's between these two right here that I don't know what the problem is. So I'm going to go ahead and push this back, and then I am going to go ahead and try to disconnect one of them and see if it moves when I move the upper control. I've already tried moving the lower control. I'll do it again for you guys. Okay, that's the lower control. I don't hear anything, no movement, don't see any movement, nothing. Nothing at all. So I'm just gonna leave it on cold. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and shut the car off, or shut the power off, I should say. And then I'm gonna try to disconnect these right here. Unfortunately, the way they've got them connected, they're almost impossible to get to. I'd really like to pop the engineer in the nose who designed this. Why they couldn't go to a cable system, which is 100 times more reliable, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's easier to run wires and it's cheaper. Of course, that's kind of odd because car prices have gone up significantly. All right, I'm just going to pull those out and see which ones move and which ones don't. Oh, before you do that, make sure you know where your controls are at so you can put them back before you try to connect these back up, or you might have to run what's called a calibration on it. So anyways, let me get that out of there. All right, I got the lower one out right here. I'm just using a I think it's 8mm, yeah, 8mm on a 1/4" drive handle. Let's get this off of here. Here we go. Got it off. All right, let's pull this down. Bing, there it is. And let's see if this one is working. I turn the key on. And let me operate the control here. If I can get my hands on it. There we go. So obviously, this is the one. Let's run the passenger one. Oh, look, the passenger one is running now. It's intermittent though. It's acting funny. It doesn't seem to be stopping. It just keep on going. Oh, finally. Let me run it the other direction. It's only going one direction the whole time. I may have found my problem. Yeah, this sucker is just running and running and running. So I think that's the problem right there. It only runs one direction, which is probably to the heat section. So, okay. So obviously the driver's is the one on the right, and the other one is the passenger one. The one closest to the engine is the passenger one. Okay. Some people had talked about this bar right here. This little square bar. It can slip out or get bad. And the way you tell is you either pull it out, which I'm not going to do because I don't know how it hooks on the other side. But I know that it works if I flip this lever. I don't know if you can hear that. So I don't think the bar is bad. It looks like it's just a 1/4" square rod or something like that. 3/16, not sure. So, oh, sorry for bumping the thing. I had a bug biting me. All right, so this one's only turning clockwise this way, which would be counterclockwise if it's up on top. But let's go ahead and remove it. And there's this little tab right here. And they put the tab on the inside, so when you try to get to it like this, you can't. So let me get this off of here, and then we'll hook a new one up and see what it does. All right, I got it loose. I had to actually put a screwdriver in that little hole and push this little square tab in for me to be able to get this off of here. So let me go ahead and get the new one hooked up. All right, I just plugged it in. Now let's operate the passenger and see what happens. That's the driver's. Okay. I operated the passenger and oh, there it goes. Okay, that's going counterclockwise with me looking at it. Let's see how long it goes. Okay, it just stopped. I paused. Let me operate it the other direction now and see what happens. Oh, well, there it goes. All right, it's going clockwise now. So obviously this is working. So I think what I'm just going to plug this in now. I got both on cool. and see if it'll operate. Like that. Okay, it seems to be in. Let me get some screws in it now. So the connector goes down. Couldn't remember. Sorry, guys. All right, let me get some screws in this thing. All right, I got all the controls back together and everything, and I'm not going to put everything back together until I test it. So let's go ahead and fire up the car. I guess we don't need the stereo on. And I'm just sitting on the floorboard where the seat used to be. Let me get situated here. And all right, I got it on heat. The temperature is up a little bit, so I should be able to feel heat. And I do feel heat. So let's put it on cold. I'm going to do the passenger side first. And yes, it is turning cold. Alright, let's check the temperature again. I let it cool down a little bit. 58, depending on where you hit the fin. Sorry for the focus. 58, 59. Depends on where you hit the fins. If you get the outside, like here, it's going to be higher. But I'm pretty sure it's a lot cooler than that inside the vent down there. So let's put the heat on the passenger. Let's check the driver's side too. Let's see, 64, depending on where you hit it. So let's put the heat on the passenger side and see what happens. See if I can get a better focus up here. Maybe I need to turn the fan up a little bit. Oh yeah, that's warm coming out of there. 82. See, it's 86, 87 there. Before it was what, 58? It's 81. Let's drop it again. So drop the temperature. Let's see if it drops. And it's dropping fairly rapidly. All right, the thermometer doesn't show it as well as I would like, but I can definitely feel a difference now. Put it on heat again, and that definitely has heat coming out now. And put cold, it's going from heat to ice cold again. Here too, let's check this one since I had it apart. And that's hot. Yep, definitely. So let's put it back on cold. And I think that has solved my problem. So there we go. Just an actuator that was intermittent and getting bound up when it was being used. Even though I took it off and you saw it rotating, it seemed to only be rotating in one direction. So something was obviously wrong with it. So let's get it all back together. Again, let's get this cover up in here. Got one here, one there, and then one right in here next to this blue wire. Get that one in. Alright, let's get this other one in here. I got the last screw started. Okay, let's finish off these last ones down here. Drop it. There we go. Let's get this last one tightened up. There we go. There we go. And put this wire up in here, and then inside the little wire keeper. Up inside this little hole here. Dink, there it is. I guess that keeps it off your feet. All right, the next thing we need to do is go ahead and put this little cover on. It's got a little tab right here, and that tab goes up in this hole right here. So let's get this little cover up, bring it over the brake, put it up there like that, and goes in this one here, right there, and that one right up in there. All right, here we go. I'm finishing up, tighten these up here. All right, that's tight. Now all we have to do is put the lower section in. It goes down here, this section right down here. So let me get this stuff out of the way, and then we'll get to that. And don't forget that you have to connect your power source for your I think it's any power you want, cigarette lighter if you want, or your other power outlet over here. But the reason it's got a key on it is because, I mean, this one's only on when you turn the key on. This one is directly to the battery. It's hot all the time. Let's go ahead and get this connected up. Push that up there like that, and the little black part, I believe, goes down. Come on, get in there. There we go. And tug. Okay, it's in. And just slide this up in here like that. And the ones that go on the bottom and the one that go behind the panel, they actually have a little hex head on them. You can use a Phillips screwdriver, but the hex heads are the ones that go in there. That one and these two down here. These two go down here. These two go right here. And then you'll need, I believe, 2 more screws. One for that side over there and one for the side over there. So let me go ahead and get those in. Okay, got these 2 screws in. I got the one that goes in down right over here. Right there. Got the one that goes in over there. And I got this one that goes right down here. And the one that goes right down there. Alright, so we've got this hooked in now. So now we have to put this piece back in, and that's fairly simple to do. Let me show you that one. Kick panel in. It's got a couple little tabs. You got some little tabs that go up in the holes up in here. And there's another one right up in here, and another one up in here. And this is for a guide pin, I believe. And then it's got 4 screws. 2 on the bottom, one there, one right there, I'm sorry, and I got 2 on the side. For these ones on the side, you'll need a little stubby Phillips screwdriver like this to get those ones done. So let's get that up there. Let's see if I can do this one hand. No, you know what? I'm gonna put this on a tripod for you guys. Okay, here we go. Let's set this up in here. Here, just push. There we go. Now all I gotta do is put my screws in. Okay, just line these holes up. And you can hand start them and then finish them off with a screwdriver. There we go. And there's a couple on the bottom right there. One there and one there. I don't think you guys need to watch me do those. I'm sure you can figure out how to do that. So, oh, and I had just pulled this out to make sure there was nothing loose behind it. Anyways, let me get this all in, and then we'll get the driver's seat in. And before I put the driver's seat in, probably now is a good time to either sweep or vacuum this out or do a little bit of cleaning. So let me get that done, then we'll get to the seat. Alright, before you start putting your seat in here or moving around, it's probably a good idea to tuck this cable under here and put these connectors under the little carpet right here so you don't snag it on your bolts and tear it up and then cause yourself some more problems. Well, this is how we put it in. We just notice the connectors lying down there, so be careful of those. I just grabbed the front and I grabbed under the back, up under here on the back, and then all you have to do is clear the headrest, and then you can move it in. All right, once you get it in, just kind of take it and push it over like that so that you can get these connectors connected. I know you guys saw me take it apart, so I don't think it's a big deal, but I'll see if I can't show it to you again. Alright, so I'm gonna hook this up like that, and then push your lock tab in so it doesn't accidentally come out. Do the same thing with the other one. I think this is the lock tab. It goes forward like that. And then it slides onto these little rails down here. Got some Mickeys down here. Lovely. So all you have to do now is slide these on to the little rails like that. Snap in, Here's another one. Set it on there and snapped in. That's it. Now all you gotta do is pick the seat up and stick it in the 4 holes and put the bolts on them, or the nuts on the bottom, then you should be done with this. All right, let's get to it. All right, just kind of wiggle it around a little bit till it finds its way into the holes. And it all went in. Okay, let me go get the nuts on the bottom of it and get that taken care of. The last one goes up in here. All right, now we can get the ratchet on them and snug them down really good. All right, push on them really hard. And just a random bag decided to blow over here into the car with me. Wow. Anyways, let me get these all tightened up. All right, I got them all tightened up, real snugged up real good. If any of you guys watched any of my other videos, like on that shock absorber one, we call it grunt tight, you know. Tighten it till you grunt. So, they're grunt tight. All right, now we can get back up here, and I think we're done. Getting that seat done and everything, so there it is. That's how you change the actuator, either for the passenger or the driver's side, on a 2002 Dodge Grand Caravan, or this generation Caravan. I'm not really sure what years apply. I think it's 99 or something on up. All right, y'all have a good one. If you appreciate the work I did, give me a thumbs up. If you want to help my channel, please subscribe. God bless y'all, and keep none you out. Bye.